Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Joy Lim Nakrin. That's attorney Ben Crump speaking after the death of 22-year-old Amir Locke earlier this week. We want to warn you, the video that you're about to see is disturbing. Locke was killed by a Minneapolis SWAT team performing what is called a no-knock warrant. That basically means police can enter a home without announcing themselves. Police say Locke pointed a loaded gun in the direction of the officers. But Locke owned the gun legally, had no criminal record, was not involved in the homicide warrant being served by the officers. We want to know, what do you think? Should no-knock warrants be banned? Still with us, we have criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor David Bruno joining us. Okay, so our first comment comes from a viewer named Sid, who says these no-knock warrants have to go. The potential tragic outcomes are too high of a cost just to take away risk from the officers. David, how do you respond?
Yeah, like I said earlier in the show, there needs to be some no-knock warrants. And I agree it's concerning, especially when we have cases like this on video where someone that's not a target, no criminal history, is killed. I agree wholeheartedly. It has to be scarcely used under very certain circumstances. And I would encourage everybody to wait for the affidavit and the circumstances before we really critique why this no-knock warrant was used here.
Okay, we have another comment from a viewer named Ryan Baxter, who says, I don't see any issues with this. No-knock warrants give officers a tactical advantage. Being a cop these days is a thankless job. In this age, you're one bullet away from leaving this earth in a body bag, or one bullet away from going to prison for life. Do you agree, or do you think that there are issues?
Yeah, like I've been saying, there needs to be no-knock warrants in certain very extreme circumstances. And look, why not? Where's the flashbang? Where is it? I think it could have made a difference in the case. Although he was covered by the blanket, still, that is so disorienting for an individual in the home that it could have changed circumstances here. But is there room for it? There should be extreme cases where judges have to make determinations in the affidavit itself whether or not it's necessary. And if not, then there should be knocks and some other ways of executing warrants to protect the safety of the officers.
Yeah, and we have another comment from a viewer named Karen Eloise, who says, depends on what the warrant is for. In this case, it was a homicide investigation. Is it very critical in terms of the determination what the underlying charge is for?
Yeah, well, I would have to respectfully disagree about what the crime is. I think it has more to do with what the danger is, the circumstances of who's inside. Now, oftentimes, I think the most serious crimes will have heightened risks involved with the participants and the danger, but I don't think it's as easy as just looking at the crimes. I think it has to be the totality of the circumstances, but more importantly, what about the execution specifically of the residents and its inhabitants that require the no-knock warrant?
Yeah, no, and we have one final comment that I just wanted to get in. This is from Scott Brooks, who says actually it's the politicians and the judges that are still passing out no-knock warrants. The cops are just doing their bidding, blame the establishment, not the police. Do you think it really is a systemic issue?
Well, sure, you have two branches of government there involved in that decision. And it's actually three. Actually, the legislators who allow the no-knock warrants are first. The executive branch and the law enforcement officers are applying. And you have the judges, the judicial branch, that's approving. So in the end, three branches involved in this decision.
Thank you so much, David Bruno, for that analysis. I'm Joy Lim Nakrin in for Michael Ayala tonight. Michael is up.